Hello, everybody. If you're watching this video, it's because you wanted a little bit of extra help or clarification on any of these problems on either page 14 or 15. If you have any other questions that are not covered in this video, please make sure to ask in class. If you don't ask, I can't help you. So we'll start with number one. This is a simple two-step one. So if we're starting with 83 centimeters when we get to meters, right? Start with what you know. We'll put it over 1 and in a bracket or parentheses. And you should have gotten into some sort of rhythm where whatever unit we have up top needs to follow you down below into the next one so that they can cancel out. And because we have our base unit present, we can go right to it. I know for every 1 meter, we have 100 centimeters. All right, you put these numbers in, right, the 1 and the 100, so that these two amounts are equal to each other. Right, they need to be equal to each other, or that will change your original value. All right, so when multiplying this, our centimeters will cancel out, giving us units of meters, and we would end up with 0.83 meters, which checks out. All right, let's look at a little bit more difficult problem. I'll come back to number 4 at the end here. So I'm sure number 4 is one that got a lot of you. Let's take a look at number 5 down here. So 2.5 millimeters would be equal to how many micrometers? So we'll start with 2.5 millimeters, right? Like we always do, put it over 1 and in a parentheses. Our units need to fall to the bottom so they can cancel out. Now I can't go from millimeters right to micrometers. I need to go to meters first, and then I can go from meters to micrometers. So I'm going to be switching up colors on you guys. Alrighty, so now we need to come up with what numbers fit with these units. So how many meters are equal to how many millimeters? Well, for every 1 meter, we have 1,000 millimeters. And for every 1 meter, we have 1 million micrometers. All right, so when we multiply these together, we should end up, right, millimeters canceling out, meters canceling out, so we're left with micrometers. All right, so we have 2.5 divided by 1,000, right? You could also say it's 2.5 times 1 over 1,000. That's the same thing. So 2.5 divided by 1,000 times a million, right? So this would be 2,500. I'm doing the math in my head, so if I'm wrong, and you can prove that with a calculator, trust your calculator, not my head. All right, so that was a nice 3-stepper. Number 7, this is another 3-stepper. So we're starting with 3,450,000 nanograms, and we want to convert to milligrams. So we start again with our no-brainer step, right? Putting it over 1 in parentheses and bringing our unit to the bottom. Now again, I can't go from nanograms to milligrams, but I can go from nanograms to grams, and from grams to milligrams. Alrighty, so this has us, right, nanograms canceling out, grams will cancel out, and we'll just be left with milligrams. And we need to come up with what values are equal to each other. So how many grams are equal to how many nanograms? For every 1 gram, we have 1 billion nanograms. Now I'm going to write that as 10 to the 9th power. Which is the same thing as writing out 1 billion. I just didn't know if I would have enough space right there. So these are the same thing. Okay, it's just how many times we've moved the decimal place over. And we'll talk about scientific notation a little bit when we get into moles. And then here, how many milligrams are equal to a gram? And we have 1,000 milligrams for every 1 gram. And we should end up with units of milligrams. The nanograms will cancel out, the grams will cancel out, and we'll be left with, let's see, 3,450,000 divided by 1,000,000,000 times 1,000. So we end up with 3.45 milligrams. Alrighty. All right, so hopefully those made a little bit of sense. Let's take a look. The ones that usually trick students up are 4, 10, and 12. So let's start with these. So number 4, how many liters is equal to 0.032 centimeters cubed object? All right, so some of us might actually be missing this note, and that's okay. But this is something that we will see quite often in class, and we'll practice this many times. You'll get pretty comfortable with it. But if we want to go from liters to centimeters cubed, we need to know that 1 centimeter cubed is equal to 1 milliliter. They're the same value, just measured differently. All right, so if we're starting with 0.032 centimeters cubed, all right, I'm going to start by putting that over 1 and then a fraction. So I can't go from centimeters cubed to liters, but I can go from centimeters cubed to milliliters. And then, right, bring your milliliters down. And I can go from milliliters to liters. Alrighty. And when we fill these values in, it's a 1-to-1 conversion from centimeters cubed to milliliters. Now, I still want to see this step, even though it's not mathematically changing your value, because we are manipulating the units, and that matters. And then lastly, for every 1 liter, we have 1,000 milliliters. So our answer here would be 0.032 divided by 1,000. So 0.00032 liters would be our answer there. All right, so the big key here is knowing that 1 centimeter cubed is equal to 1 milliliter. If you did not know that, well, then you can't blame yourself for not being able to answer the problem just yet. All right, let's take a look at number 10. If you ran 5.2 kilometers, how many inches would you have to run? And it does tell us that 1 meter is equal to 3.28 feet. So that lets me know that, okay, I want to go from kilometers to meters, then meters to feet, and then I can go feet to inches. So let's take a look at how this would appear. We have 5.2 kilometers, put it over 1, and in parentheses, we can go from kilometers to meters, go from meters to feet, and then this last one they didn't give you, but they assumed that you would know how to go from feet to inches. All right, so when setting this up, for every 1 kilometer, I have 1,000 meters. For every 1 meter, I have 3.28 feet. Right, I got that from the problem. And then for every 1 foot, I have 12 inches. Alrighty, and after multiplying this through, our kilometers cancel out, our meters cancel out, our feet cancel out, and we're left with the units of inches. And our final answer should be 204,672 inches. Alrighty, so this would be our correct answer. I did not do that one in my head. I did have that one written down ahead of time. And then lastly, moving on to number 12. I guess we'll take a look at 13 in a second. Moving on to number 12. If 8 fluid ounces equals 2.25 deciliters, how many fluid ounces would 0.875 liters be? So this first part, right, this is an equivalency or a ratio. So we're going to use that later to convert. Our 0.875 liters is my given information. So we're going to start with 0.875 liters, put it over 1 and in parentheses. Bring the unit down to the denominator. So we go from liters. Now, I can't go from liters to fluid ounces, but it did tell me I can go from deciliters to fluid ounces. So let's see if we can go from liters to deciliters. Right. And once we get to deciliters, then we can go from deciliters to fluid ounces. Alrighty, so for every 1 liter, you have 10 deciliters. And up here it tells us for every 2.25 deciliters, we have 8 fluid ounces. All right, so our liters would cancel out. Our deciliters would cancel out, just giving us units of fluid ounces. And our answer is going to be 31.1 fluid ounces once we do that. So it would be 0.875 times 10 times 8 divided by 2.25. All right. And 13 is one made to trip you up just a little bit. The key here is that you can ignore the per liter portion of this and just go from grams to kilograms. We'll still end up with the same answer. So you can ignore the liter portion because both of them have it and just go from grams to kilograms. I have about 4 minutes left, so maybe we can do one of these tougher problems on the back. Alrighty. So let's take a look at number 17. If a 10-pound weight has a mass of 4.54 kilograms in York, PA, how many centigrams would a 1-pound package of pasta be? So we're going to start with 1 pound. I'm going to put that over 1 and in parentheses. I don't know where I'm going yet, but I do know that wherever I go, it's going to be something that I can convert from pounds, right? LB is my abbreviation for pounds. And it tells me pounds is equal to kilograms. So I should be able to go from pounds to kilograms. Right? We want to end up at centigrams. So I can go from kilograms, not to centigrams, but grams, and then grams to centigrams. All right, so we should have 4.54 is equal to 10 pounds. Right, how many grams are equal to how many kilograms? Well, 1 kilogram is equal to 1,000 grams. And then we have 100 centigrams in 1 gram to give us a final answer of 45,400 centigrams. If you got that one, give yourself a pat on the back. Not too shabby. And then I really like these two questions here, 18 and 19. All right, so you could choose to either convert centigrams to decigrams or decigrams to centigrams and then compare with your other ones. So let's say I want to convert my centigrams to decigrams. So 285.0 centigrams over 1. We'll go from centigrams to grams, and then grams to decigrams. For every 1 gram, I should have 100 centigrams, and for every 1 gram, I should have 10 decigrams to give me 28.5 decigrams. Our centigrams cancel out, our grams cancel out, just give me units of decigrams. And when I compare this to our decigrams above, I see that, right, this number is smaller than that number. So I do know that 285.0 centigrams is larger than 23.78. All right, so hopefully this helped alleviate any questions you might have. If you do have any questions, please jot that down so you can let me know either on Thursday or Friday. Have a great rest of your day.